Welcome to The Newsworthy, all the day's news in less than 10 minutes. Fast, fair, fun, and on the go. Thanks so much for listening. Today, we are talking all things Tropical Storm Harvey, and there's an update to a military ban, and it's happening, self-driving pizza deliveries, and much more, of course, all in less than 10 minutes. I'm Erica Mandy. Today is Wednesday, August 30th. You ready? Let's do this. Okay, let's jump right into what's happening with Tropical Storm Harvey. So this is officially a record-breaking storm now. The National Weather Service says there's never been more rain from just one storm than we've already seen with Harvey. Also, the mayor in Houston put in place a curfew now because apparently looting and home break-ins are a problem, which doesn't help things. So far, the highest number we've seen for the death toll is from the New York Times. It's at 30. And one of those is a Houston police officer. City officials say the officer was heading into work and got caught in the floodwaters. He died. Hundreds of thousands of people have been told to evacuate at this point. Something like 13,000 have been rescued, and the shelters are filling up. And still, it is not over. Now, the storm is affecting parts of Louisiana, like New Orleans, which, by the way, people there may be having flashbacks. This week, the city marks 12 years since Hurricane Katrina. All right, so to recap a little bit for you about Harvey. This whole thing started Friday as Hurricane Harvey. It lessened to a tropical storm, but the rain sort of sat over parts of Texas, like Houston, and the flooding got worse and worse. Now, water is even spilling over the tops of dams that are meant to hold the water back. Also, as I mentioned yesterday, President Trump was in Austin and Corpus Christi. CNN says he talked a lot about how Harvey is unprecedented, and he talked about money, the money needed to recover from this thing in the long term. The damage will be around a lot longer than the rain. Other things people may be talking about when it comes to this storm, Pastor Joel Osteen. He's known for televised sermons and has a so-called megachurch in Houston. It can hold nearly 17,000 people, so yeah, it's big. Earlier this week, he was criticized for not opening the doors of his church as a shelter to flood victims. Well, now he's opened the church and he's responding. He told Fox News the city wanted people to go to other shelters until those filled up first. He also said the church dealt with its own risk of flooding. Celebrities and sports teams are now donating big bucks to the disaster relief efforts. Sandra Bullock, for example, donated $1 million. And a University of Tampa professor suggested in a tweet that Harvey was karma for Texas voting Republican. Yeah, that wasn't a good idea. He was fired. Of course, the situation in Texas and now Louisiana are still changing. I will have updates for you tomorrow. Transgendered troops serving in the military can keep serving, at least for now. Their fate depends on the results of a new study. So remember, just last week, President Trump banned transgender people in the military, but he told other leaders to decide how to handle the troops that were already serving. So just last night, Defense Secretary Jim Mattis said he put together a panel of people to study this issue and then make a decision. But for now, no changes for the current troops. Celeb comedian Kathy Griffin says she takes it all back. She's no longer sorry. What am I talking about? Well, remember that picture she posted of her holding what looked like President Trump's head as if he had just been beheaded? It was back in May, and there was major backlash. Even some of Trump's critics said that picture just went too far. But The Hollywood Reporter says Griffin talked about it on a show in Australia and said the whole outrage was, quote, BS. And she takes back her tearful apology. I think this calls for just a little Demi Lovato. Uber is dealing with another potential scandal. The Wall Street Journal reports there's now a federal investigation. The Justice Department will try to figure out if Uber bribed any foreign officials for business, which, as you probably guessed, is against the law. Remember, Uber has had other legal challenges and sexual harassment accusations in recent months, and the company just got a new CEO. So good luck to him. A deal has been made and an interview scheduled. CNN and Fox report President Trump's son, Donald Trump Jr., agreed to an interview with lawmakers. But it won't be a public hearing. They agreed the chat will be private and transcribed. It's all part of an investigation into whether Trump Jr. or anyone else colluded with Russia before the presidential election last year. So, recap. Trump Jr. met with a Russian lawyer before the election. That lawyer has ties to the Russian government, so the meeting is now under major scrutiny. And it may be part of the larger investigation. The Trump campaign, though, says the meeting was innocent. All right, other things to know. Turns out a 16-year-old kid is the one accused of shooting up a public library in Clovis, New Mexico. The Washington Post reports the teen had been suspended from school just on Friday, although police haven't said what the motive is. 2 people died, 4 went to the hospital. Google just revealed new tools to make augmented reality apps, well, a reality. What does that even mean? It's where it looks like digital things are laid over the real world, but on your screen. Think Pokemon Go. Remember that game? Reuters says Google's version will be on Android phones only, and they'll be going head-to-head with Apple, who announced similar plans in June. Facebook is cracking down on fake news even more. NBC says pages that post hoax stories will no longer be able to advertise on Facebook. The hope is they won't be able to spread the fake story to quite as many people. Next time you order a pizza, you could have it delivered by a self-driving car. Well, at least if you live in Ann Arbor, Michigan. The New York Times reports Domino's and Ford are teaming up. Starting this week, Domino's in the Michigan city will test out self-driving delivery cars. And yes, that means customers will have to walk out of their houses to get the pizza. Because, there's no human to bring it to your door. And that's it. You are ready to go for your Wednesday. Look at that. You are already halfway through the week. As always, read more about any of these stories I referenced today on thenewsworthy.com. Look for today's episode, and I've listed all the links for you. Also, you can sign up to get The Newsworthy delivered right to your email inbox just by going to thenewsworthy.com. It makes it super easy to press play and get going. Or be sure to subscribe wherever you listen. I appreciate all the reviews so far and the comments on social media. Please keep them coming. And with that, have a great Wednesday. I can't wait to chat again tomorrow.